morning everyone. It's a beautiful soaking wet frickin' day in Auckland. Just coming up, what, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm off to my own speeding ticket allegation at Waitakere District Court in Henderson, so I'm probably about 10 minutes away. I've sent them at just after midnight last night an application for stay and discharge on the grounds that I requested information such as any criminal convictions that DISMISSAL, the witness, may have, and they didn't supply it and didn't give me a refusal or any reasons or grounds for any refusal, such as none exists, for instance. They still never gave it to me. So that, and the fact that they state in the cover letter, I believe it was the 29th of July, the cover letter was dated, and it states that I must attend the first appearance, whereas under section 38(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act 2011 it states you can, for a category 1 offence such as a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, you can file your notice of appearance in writing by way of notice. So that's a flat out misrepresentation, misleading and a lie. So I pointed that out to them. Pointed out to the court, you know, if they want to go ahead, I'll seek an adjournment for counsel for the court to assign counsel for cross-examination under 95(5) of the Evidence Act 2006. So yeah, we will see how we go, won't we? Right guys, take care, and I'm sure I'll catch up very shortly and let you know how we get on. G'day everyone, as you can see it's raining somewhat frickin' heavily, massive surface flooding. It's 3:30, we had the witness for the prosecution and cross-examination before lunch. We had lunch for an hour and a quarter and then came back at 1:45. A couple of matters were dealt with quickly before reconvening our one. The prosecution re-examined or redirected their examination of the witness just to counter everything I brought up, which didn't really work out too well for them. And would you believe it, 2 JPs on the bench and they couldn't come up with a decision there and then. For a speeding ticket they are doing a reserved decision. So I'm waiting for the answer. I pointed out to them that if they do believe I was doing 85k's, I'm more than happy to accept the $30 ticket for doing 5k's over in an 80k area. I pointed out that the prosecution has failed to satisfy all of the elements of the crime and to satisfy beyond a reasonable doubt that I was doing 60k, I was doing 85k in a 60k area, because all evidence and everything they supplied, including David, who didn't want to admit it but did on the stand, that everything was done in an 80k area. He tried to point out that the stationary mode and it should be a straight area for 250 metres view. Yes, that's radar mode and stationary mode, but it also says that you shouldn't operate your device within 250 metres of a reducive speed sign. And then he tried to point out that I was accelerating the speed sign. Well, the operator's manual ain't for me, it's for him. And he was operating a radar detector within 250 metres of a reduced speed sign, which makes it illegal operation, David. So I apparently gave the Justice of the Peace a lot to think about. They wouldn't wear the assistance of counsel for cross-examination, so I put it on the record and made them verify that anything I do during cross-examination will be given the same weight as it was done by the prosecutor. So that little issue was sorted. Granted, 95.5 is all about sexual or family court cases, not to do with infringement notices. They refused to assign counsel because legal aid is not available for speed tickets, and because it's not their job to, apparently, even though I gave them the bloody section of the law where it states they must assign counsel. Crazy. Anyway, I pointed out that they had not been prompt with their disclosure. It took them over 3 months to issue me disclosure, which is certainly not good enough, not when I'm supposed to be promptly informed. So yeah, touch and go. They did the whole reiterating of no filming or videoing. I didn't see any court order about that. I did see some signs, some prohibitions and shit, but there was no legal statute that gave it any force or effect. And irrespective of what the judge says, I exercise my rights, and I'm not downgrading them to privileges. So we'll see how that plays out in the end, won't we? So yeah, very interesting case. Absolutely, as you can see, it's absolutely pissing down. Look at the front. Yeah, absolutely persisting. So, just done a few bits of groceries on the way home, and I am heading home to have a well-deserved rest. I had a lot of fun with David on the stand. If you had to describe what David was like on the stand, he didn't know if he should be sitting or standing half the time. He was a bumbling idiot on the stand. He preferred to be called Constable as opposed to David, because I did ask at the start. And you know, there were things like, so you noticed on line 2 of your statement, your sworn statement, that as you were approaching, you reduced your speed down to 61 as you were approaching the 60k area. So does that mean you were in 80k area at the time? He did not want to answer that question, because it basically means when he spotted me, he was in the 80k area. He hadn't reached the 60k area yet, and he was trying to say, oh no, I saw you in the 60. Okay, other than what you're saying, do you have any evidence to support that? Because you haven't. I made sure to point out and question him that photo 1, photo 2, photo 3 and photo 4 were all taken in 80k areas. That and I even supplied my photos duplicating what he had done, and got him to verify on the stand that if he doesn't unlock that speed, that hypothetically he can pull up to between many vehicles behind with the same speed locked in and say everyone was doing that speed for the day. I wasn't saying that that's what he did, but I asked him if it was possible, and he said yes, because my photos proved it. I locked it in at 79 and 56 on my radar detector, locked it in, and then we pulled up behind 3 separate cars and took photos, proving that it can be done, instilling reasonable doubt. So yeah, he had nothing other than his own eyewitness testimony that he saw me in a 60k area. He had absolutely no evidence to prove otherwise. He stated that, I pointed out that none of his photos have any time, date or place on them. They do not satisfy to show that they were taken on that day, and I duplicated them on my photos. I could say I took them on that day too if I wanted to, because there's no time or date and place, even though I did them around the 6th of August. His statement that he filled out, and I'll read this out to you guys, he took particular importance to say that he audibly heard the tone or visually saw the car speeding, then audibly confirmed it with a solid steady tone, and he said that the tone got louder if the speed was higher. So I corrected him on that, because the tone doesn't get louder, the tone's pitch gets higher or lower. That's how that works. the volume of it doesn't get any fucking louder. It is the pitch of the tone. The higher it is, the faster they're going. But he couldn't even say that on the stand properly. Like I say, a bumbling idiot. Senior constable, he's been a cop for 15 years and he's only been in road trafficking for the last couple. So yeah, clearly he wasn't doing very good out there as a constable. So he's just doing traffic now. What's the next stage, Dave? You're going to be operating a speed camera, you know, a vehicle on the side of the road will be your next step. That's where you get demoted to, isn't it? Perhaps you'll be a highway cop and tell people not to park on the side of the road on the motorway. Perhaps that's about the limit of your use. But it was a fun time. The duty solicitor was quite impressed with my cross-examination. He gave me a compliment. He thought, just as I was finishing my cross-examination, I pulled out the tuning forks. I said, Your Honour, I'd just like to test the constable's hearing. I have 2 tuning forks here, 40k and a 64k. I'd just like to test his hearing and see if he can tell me. And she said that wasn't relevant. Even though David on the stand testified that he heard the tone. So me testing his hearing with tuning forks isn't relevant? I think not. I think they're a little bit wrong. But granted, they were just justices of the peace. What David had done is watched my videos, because like I said, I set little traps. I say, I hope you visualized it, I hope you heard it, and then I hope you locked it in, because that's what it states about tracking history in the operator's manual. And guess what he writes down in his sworn statement? In the correct order. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to read Constable David Lee's statement. I, David Lee, state, I am a New Zealand Police Constable based at the Henderson Police Station. I am currently assigned to Urban Road Policing. On Friday the 15th of April 2022, I was on duty. I commenced duty at 600 hours. The registration of the marked police vehicle I was driving for the day was MUY 98. Police vehicle MUY 98 is fitted with a stalker radar unit. The radar is fitted with a front and rear antenna. I am a certified speed enforcement officer with New Zealand Police. I am certified to use the radar stalker unit. As part of my pre-deployment, I carried out the calibration tests on the radar unit. I used the tuning forks assigned to the vehicle. I filled in the assignment radar logbook for the vehicle and radar unit. I subsequently deployed to State Highway 16 in the Kiwibank area. The posted speed limit between Kimu and Waimaku is 80 kilometers per hour. Just prior to the Waimaku village shops, the speed limit decreases to 60 kilometers per hour. At about 8:30 AM, I was travelling west on State Highway 16 in Waimaku, heading towards the Waimaku village shops. At the time, weather conditions were dry, visibility was clear and traffic was medium. The radar was set to the front antenna in opposite lane. I had reduced my speed and about to enter the 60 kilometer per hour zone, which would put him where? In the 80k zones. See, David had issues trying to comprehend that if he's about to enter one zone, he's currently in another. But that's alright, blithering idiot. At the time, the radar alerted me to a car heading east towards me in the opposite lane, travelling in excess of the speed limit. I saw that the car was a blue station wagon. The display on the radar showed the speed of the car was 85. It doesn't say what. My visual confirmation was that the car was the only car in the radar beam. Then it continued to travel towards me and that the car was travelling between 80 and 85 kilometres. Oh, that's what you visually did. Then he does. My audio confirmation was that the Doppler tone had increased in audio level. Really? So he turned it up? It didn't increase in tone at all? The tone was clear and strong. the tone was consistent with the speed. My radar verification, step 3 of the tracking history, was that the reading was consistent with my visual and audio observations and that it was a steady target reading. The display on the radar showed the speed of the police vehicle was 61 kilometres. So if he was in a 60k area, he was speeding, and if he was in 80k area, he's going a bit slow. But you know, the word slow and David were almost synonymous. This was confirmed by the police vehicle speedometer. I locked the speed of the car at 85 kilometres per hour. Lock the speed of what car, David? The approaching vehicle or your car? What did you lock? As the car continued towards me, I saw that it was a blue Mitsubishi and that the registration was FAN 394. I activated the red and blue flashing lights on the police vehicle, slowed down, conducted a U-turn without checking first, turned and caught up with the car. The driver of the car stopped a short distance along the road of State Highway 16. I stopped behind the car. Whilst still within the vehicle, I used my police iPhone and took 2 photos. The first was of the radar unit showing the lot speed of 85 with the blue Mitsubishi car stopped in front of the police vehicle. Doesn't show a date or time though, does it? And as I've proven, I can easily create as many of those photos as you like, David. The second was a closer photo of the radar unit showing the lock speed of 85 and the patrol ground speed of 61. No, that was the speed of your vehicle, David, not the ground speed. The ground wasn't moving. Although, unless you think you live on a ball, the ground's moving at about 1600 kilometres an hour. Can you feel it? I took a third photo of the rear of the car showing the registration as FAN 394. I spoke to the driver, the sole occupant of the car. The driver was the registered owner Mark Donald Eric Keane. I confirmed his home address as Waimaku and his identity from his NZTA photo. I advised Keane he would be receiving an infringement notice for travelling 85 in a 60 km/h zone. I then returned to my police vehicle to complete the infringement notice. Keane then continued on his journey travelling east on State Highway 16. I subsequently turned around and stopped my police vehicle on the side of the road, State Highway 16, facing west towards the Waimaku village shops. I took a photo of the road and 2 signs showing the posted speed limit at 60 km/h. I then continued on my patrol. I confirmed the truth and accuracy of the statement. I make the statement with the knowledge that it is to be used in court proceedings. I am aware that it is an offence to make a statement that is known by me to be false or intending to me or by me to mislead. Is that right, David? Okay. So as you can see there, that is his statement. Clearly he says he reduced his speed when he was about to enter the 60 kilometre area, which puts him squarely, where, David? Come on, see if you can figure it out. 80 kilometre area. So your statement says fuck all. I'll move back to the original video. And guess what he writes down in his sworn statement? In the correct order, like he's reading it out of the manual. And then, you know, this is 5 months afterwards, so you've got to question the accuracy of his statement some 5 months afterwards. I pointed that out too. So we will see. Reserve judgment, I expect I'll get an answer to the reserve judgment in a couple of weeks. Until such time, I'll keep you posted if anything else pops up. Catch you later, guys. Keep cool to after school. Got a bit of a sneaking headache today. Shit happens. Perhaps it shouldn't have been all that cough mixture I drank this morning. Nah, kidding. Alright, guys. Keep cool to after school. There's the update. Reserve decision for a speeding ticket because it's a bit difficult for them to figure it out and they were a bit busy. I lay a bet the JPs appreciated the fact that I didn't get up on the stand and become a witness and chew up any more of their valuable time, as they are quite busy. As it is, having my hearing at 11:30, going through to almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 2:30 in the afternoon, chewed up a lot of the court's time. And I did specify 3 to 4 hours, but they only assigned 1.5 to. Guess they weren't used to somebody cross-examining their witness for half an hour on the stand like that then, were they? Might have been longer actually. Anyway guys, like I said, see you later. Keep cool to after school. Check out the flooding, everyone. It's that bad that they're driving on our side of the road to get past the flooding in Kenya. Look at that. Jesus Christ. I have never seen this fucking intersection so backed up. That is a lot of water. This is an absolute river. They're on our side of the road because of the flooding. Idiot. He's driving right through it. Look at that. The river is completely flooded out. That's the road normally. Right up to the guardrails. Holy shit.